There, where, there. He spoke, his voice. This is all... That's interesting. This is all Matthew's work, except much of it has been gone over by Logan. I knew his voice was written by both. The there's and where's were by Matthew. Your life... Why must I dream your life? Why must I dream your life? His voice. I knew his voice. Is he familiar to Logan, perhaps? Oh, and one other detail. The 6 is written in the corner. As I believe there was an 8. Was it 2 pages before? Yes, there was an 8 2 pages before. Now it is 6. Presumably, if I go... Oh, no, next is 3, so there is no easily discernible order. No and no have been written, but yes and yes follow. I don't know why he would do that, obviously. No and no would... they're written in different pens, as you saw, but presumably they were both Logan. And then here is... Here you can see a spread. It was begun by Matthew, as you can see by the pencil marks, and presumably finished by Logan. Logan drew over the house, which was Matthew's work, probably to clarify some things. The Slender Man, however, was not drawn over. He remains as he is. And here we've got 2:15. I don't know what that means. As for this orange orb in the sky, obviously it's either the sun or the moon. I cannot yet discern whether it's... I cannot say for certain whether it's the sun, which it could be, or it could be a blood moon, which is the phrase that I and many other people I know use for the red lunar eclipses. Now here's some scribblings that cannot easily be understood. You can draw a screenshot from that if you wish. It says something, obviously, because then following is, or are we his? Or, yes, or are we in his? Perhaps it has something to do with, is he in our world, or are we in his? Apologies, I didn't realize it stopped recording in the last one, so we'll pick up where we left off. Once again, we were here, looking at the point that Matthew drew with Logan's additions in red. The next page says him, and here is Matthew's face, which he drew. He wrote Slender Man in the middle, and then Logan went over and added eyes, 2 red eyes with black lines underneath them to signify shadows or indentations. What's curious is that Slender Man, in almost all of the representations of him, has no face, though some of them do have noticeable depressions where the eyes should be, were he human. And again, there's the red 5 in the corner. Here it says June 23rd, Hunter identified by Logan's hand and by Matthew's Slender Man. And here you have an 8. Now this one is interesting because the green is not something that I have seen before. But nevertheless, presumably, again, this is Logan's hand because Matthew only drew in pencil. And also, it is obviously added on to Matthew's drawing of the tree with the 2 people underneath. The letters are Y, G, G, D, R, A, S, and what looks like a sideways H. This may be an L or a 7, or it may not be a Roman character at all. And here is the red 1 in the corner. Next you have Matthew's clock and Logan's hands with the words he knew and the 3. Now here you have probably what looks to be important. It says 23 sighting, 24 sighting, and in red, I see you, and in the corner now. And if you look closely, there's a little figure who looks like he's being sucked into or pulling himself out of the binding. That may just be an artistic addition. Here it says, "Coming in time, he shall come for us all." Now what's curious about the green is that the handwriting is much neater than the handwriting of Logan in the other editions. The black and the red, as you can see, are rather messy. But then when you look at the green, it's very, very neat. Although here I suppose that such is not the case. Although, again, when you're making something bold, it's not going to be very neat. But if we compare it to this, then perhaps it is still Logan that does the green, because that's rather neat as well. And, alright, so the next page is coming. That's all. And now, what follows is rather interesting. Something has obviously been torn out. All you can make out is the words why, what, and, literally. And on the adjacent page, it says 9, and is pointing presumably to 2 places on the torn out page, because here again, "But why me?" has been written, and if you can see, it might be hard to tell, but the line actually does go, this line here does go onto the torn out page. Ideally we would find that, although, again, that would require finding Logan. He is here, him everywhere, so you can tell what Logan was thinking about. "I saw him, can't you?" Apologies again for the cutout video. This is something that many people who supposedly have cited the Slender Man would say. Then here, this is interesting, here you have in the red both the messy handwriting and the neat handwriting. It says, "They said Matt strangled himself with his bare hands. That is physically impossible. Yet the truth is equally impossible." And then here you have Logan's drawing of presumably himself drawing in this notebook. As you can tell, he doesn't look very sane. And here is Slender Man reaching over him. You can tell what was on his mind. Logan's addition to the notebook. Black page, your move, and then various letters whose meaning I'm sure I shall discern, not at this time because I'm trying to get through this video. What's curious is that there are many instances in here where Logan refers to something akin to chess. Here's your move at the end is checkmate, and I would have to look back for more, but there's definitely a kind of interplay that is implied. A conflict between him and the Slender Man in which they are contesting to see who has the stronger, presumably who has the stronger will. Now we'll get back to the notebook. And as I have just said, follows his checkmate in small, neat blue letters. And now here's some blank pages following. This was hard to see last time I tried to do this, but there's a man cut into the page. Oh, here you can actually see it rather well now. It's basically exactly what I've said, a stick figure that has been cut into the page. So I'll be careful with that. And now on the following pages, the spread says don't, turn, around. And now, luckily I'm in the position where I can just raise the camera and show that there's nothing behind me. And that is the end of the notebook. We'll go through it again, but as you can see, there's nothing left. That is the extent to which Matt and Logan wrote in it. Oh, here's something at the end, however. It's a pocket, and inside, I missed this last time, quality control for the notebook. It's a little pamphlet that tells you how to keep your notebook safe. But what is really interesting is what is drawn on the other side, as you can imagine. The red and black Slender Man that Logan has drawn. Obviously, Matthew would have overlooked this as I did. And so that is it. That is the notebook. You have seen it. Thank you very much to Joshua for sending me the notebook so that I may use it as part of my research. And hopefully we can help find out what happened to Logan, ideally, in addition to finding out what the contents of this notebook mean.